Welcome back to This or That. Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and thank you for joining me for another video here on the channel. Today we have another episode of This or That, where I give you a couple of choices of books that sold recently for around the same price. But before we get started in the video, like always, I want to tell you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead, click that sub button for me, because if you're a subscriber, you have a chance to win this. So for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway, I've decided to give away this awesome Hulk vs. Wolverine maquette, measured in about 1/10 scale, and of course features the incredible cover from Incredible Hulk number 181. So if you're a sub, when we get to 6,000, you have a chance to win this awesome statue. But that's not it. If you are a member of the channel, you're going to have a members only giveaway, and we're giving away this awesome custom original art Spider-Man swinging through New York City. So if you're not a member of the channel and are interested, you have a chance to win this amazing original art. I also want you to hit that like button for me. The more likes we get on this video, the better. And lastly, do me a favor, check out all the new merch I have available down below. The link is in the description of every video. Now let's get into This or That. I want to welcome to the channel Jason over at Omega Collects and at Errol Molnar on Instagram. Guys, thank you for coming on the channel and playing this month's This or That.
No problem.
Thank you so much for having us back. The Rat Pack is back.
So as you guys know, we had a good time last month doing this. We picked two books that, you know, we gave a choice to the contestants which book they wanted to buy. But I have a special treat for you guys. You guys are good friends of mine, so I wanted to choose three books. Now, I'm not going to tell you the three books yet, but just know they're really, really phenomenal books. So as the game goes, I'm going to show them the three books. We're going to have a discussion. Each one of them are going to tell me what their preference is. Then, of course, I'm going to get into the GPA data, the CGC census numbers, and then I'll see if I can change their minds. And then last, I will go ahead and give my own opinion on the book. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Roll.
All right. So the first book we're going to take, and all these books were sold for $3,000 to $3,500 recently. Okay, so $3,000 to $3,500 is the name of the game this week. So the first book is a copy of Tales of Suspense, number 39, the first appearance of Iron Man. This book sold for $3,200. Okay, that's the first book. The second book is a copy of Detective Comics number 140 in a CGC conserved grade, white pages, but it is conserved, but the first appearance of the Riddler, big Golden Age book. And the last book that is going to be on this is a copy of Action Comics number 242, the first appearance and origin of Brainiac in a 5.5 off-white to white pages. This book also sold for, I think, $3,000 to $3,200, so all within that range. So who wants to start?
Oh.
Well, based on all the information I have, I've owned the Tales of Suspense 39 and got rid of it recently. But out of all those books, I would have to go with the Brainiac. I have to go with Brainiac on that one. Because I think he's a character that can take the approach to the Superman movie that they're going to take. I think that character they can build into. He can also be a character that can lead off into Darkseid as well. So that character is pivotal to me. For the DCU takes that route, builds up into that route, and then goes into the dark side, kind of like the MCU did with Thanos. So is it more of just like the build-up, or does it have a monetary value as well? I mean, they're all around the same amount numbers right now, but do you think that that's going to push the book higher, or are you just talking about which book you'd rather have? I think the book is going to push higher regardless of any movie hype. Just the way the market is and the way people are. I think Brainiac, I mean, I grew up, I knew who Brainiac was. I saw him on the cartoon. So there's a historical aspect as to also why I'm choosing Brainiac. But I really think that that's a pivotal character. Monetarily, yeah, it'll take an increase as we get closer. If that does happen and materialize and we get a hint, yeah, the book will increase in value. But overall, I think that's a strong character. He's been inside of the animation already. with Superman, so he's already an established character from my perspective.
The floor is yours now. What would you pick out of those 3 books?
That's a good one here. Everyone would probably think, "Oh, Errol's probably going to take Brainiac," but I'm not in this one. I think I'll take the Riddler first appearance. Yeah.
Okay.
So what's your reasoning behind that? That's a huge book. It's a huge book. So
reason why is because the Riddler's been synonymous with animation to movies to with Adam West, the whole series wise, where he's one of the top villains of Batman. Like I said, I love Superman and everything that goes around with him because I'm a huge collector of it. Brainiac wise, I like the character too, but the thing is, which one would I choose? Like I said, I always probably choose the Riddler. Like I'd like to have the Brainiac collection, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to popularity wise and just longevity, the Riddler is just you can't top it. I don't care if it's conserved or not. The book is just an all-time classic.
that was my next question, because I was going to ask you, does the conservation bother you at all? I mean, that's the reason why it's 3,500, right? Because we're gonna get into the details of GPA in a little bit, what it would be without conservation, but that's the reason it's 3,500. So
no, I don't care for the I don't care for the conservation wise and a book wise because of the age of it. It's a golden age book. So there's a lot of people that they're very scared of buying, say, restored books, but you have to understand these books are from the golden age era. Were heavily restored at the time because no one was doing CGCing or all these grading companies that are just basically grading to see if they're not touched or untouched. It's like buying a car. If a car has been say sitting in a junkyard for say 50 years, like say a Mustang, and someone restored it, you're not going to buy because it's been restored. You want it all rusty the way it looks. You have to have a give and take when you want to buy a book.
Yeah, the conservation doesn't bother me at all when you get into books like what you mentioned, Lawrence, the 3. It's just, it's the rarity, the scarcity, and having that in your possession, and it presents nice. So that wouldn't bother me. I mean, would you take a restored Ferrari or would you take a Volkswagen Passat?
Right.
I mean, which one would you take?
So let me ask you this, Errol, because you're the one who picked that book. Is this decision more based on investment purposes or just on because of the character based and the fact that it's a golden age book?
Not investment wise in the book is always going to have value to it, no matter how you look at it. Even down the road, it's going to still hold its ground for how much it's going to keep worth, say 5 years or 10 years. It's always going to have that worth to it, even if it's conserved. Because you got to look at the census of how many are on the census compared to say. And I know Brainiac book, the Action 242, that one's got a lot more rarity to it as far as the census wise, and especially on how it presents. Like the purple cover alone, it's always synonymous to having those bloody spine ticks everywhere all the time, which is almost a detraction when you buy it. Right. Especially when it comes to a book, you always want to make sure it looks presentable. What grade it is. It could be 1.0 or it could be 2 or 3. If it presents nice, then fine. But when it comes to the Riddler book, it all depends. Like I said, if a book is not trimmed, if it's not had so much stuff done to it, wherever it is, it's still got its integrity to it. I'll take it all day long.
So let me read you the conservation notes. It's tear seals to the cover cleaned, cover and centerfold reinforced, leaf casting to cover. So it's nothing dramatic, but the book has been held together with conservation.
Yeah, and it presents lovely. It's a nice presenting book. It looks good.
Yeah. It may not get, like I said, what's going to get a blue grade untouched for the grade wise, but that's fine. It's you get what you can take.
All right, so let's cut this off right here. I want to get into the GPA data and see if I could change your mind at all. We're going to start with the Tech 140 because it's a huge book, and I'm going to give you the GPA data on a CGC 4.0 conserved grade, and guess what? The last sale on that book was August 2018 for $3,500, and guess what? That was the only sale over the past 3 years. So this copy is it. But I wanted to bring up a non-conserved 4.0 and what that is going for in the market. Okay, the last sale for a blue label 4.0 non-conserved was $12,600 in June of 2022. So that's quite a bit of a jump because of the conservation. Now there was another sale in 2022. The average, there were 2 sales, believe it or not, and they were both $14,100. So this book, like non-conserved, non-restored, is really going for a ton of money. So that's the first aspect. So let's go into the other 2 books first. The Action Comics 5.5. The last sale was, again, this book that sold for $3,000 last month, June.
Yeah.
The 90-day average for that book was also $3,000 because this was the only sale. Same with the 12-month rolling average, $3,000. However, if we go back to 2021, the average sale, and there were 3 of them in 2021, was $3,720. So this book is down a little bit, $700. Now I'm going to go into the data for the book you guys did not choose, and that's the Tales of Suspense number 39. Okay. So I'm calling this book a 1.0, even though I got to be honest, this book looks hell of a lot better than 1.0 in my opinion, but I'm going to use the 1.0, per se. So the last sale for a 1.0 Tales of Suspense 39 in April of this year for $3,600. The 12-month rolling average, $4,325. The 22 average, 2022, $5,031. 2021, the average was $3,903. So we got that big spike in 2022 and now back down to $3,600. It has come down, roughly like every other book, about 25% right in that area. So after hearing the GPA data on these 3 books, any change your mind, any inkling into anything else, or you guys still firm?
I would still stick with the action.
No, still is my Riddler. Yeah, as I said, the Riddler book we had conserved. You could buy the book if you want to and wait it out and have a bidding war with somebody because that book hardly ever comes out.
Right.
But then you look at a conserved book saying, I'll take what I can get. And if I can get it for under $5,000, I'll do it. I don't care if it's got some restoration or some conservation to it. Like I said, it just all depends on your spending, on how much you want to spend to get into that book.
Right. Okay. Tales of Suspense. There's a lot of Tales of Suspense that came to the market.
Now we're going to get into the census data because you guys just said there's too many in the market. Okay, so we're going to start with the one you just mentioned, the Tales of Suspense 39. Okay, total graded Tales of Suspense 39. Anybody want to take a guess?
Over 3,000, easy.
I would say about 3,000.
Over 3,000.
2,696. As of me pulling this data, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I pulled the data. So under 3,000, which is shocking, both of you. Yeah. So in a 1.0 blue label, there are 83 blue label 1.0s. That is it. Total, there's 2,021 universal, 30 qualified, 237 signature series, and 408 restored. So again, 2021 blue label, but only 83 at a 1.0 blue label. Right. The high is a 9.8. There's one 9.8 copy of that book. That's insane.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, that book is a good book. I mean, it's a great book, but it goes into, if you buy it because you're trying to fill a run or because you like it, and don't look for that huge investment.
All these books are huge books, right? That's why they're all big books. So let's go to the next one. Let's go to the Brainiac, okay? The first appearance of Brainiac. Anybody want to gander how many are on the CGC census of this book?
I'll say 550.
Errol?
Yeah, see 800.
All right, so the total amount on the census as of a couple weeks ago was 616 copies.
Yeah. Okay.
So the 576 blue universal grades, 5 qualified, 8 signature series, and 27 restored. Out of 5, there's 35 blue label books, so 35 in this grade. Definitely not a lot of copies of this book, and it's a Silver Age book. It's not a Golden Age book. It shocked me how few there were on the census.
But then you have to look at the book. You have to look at the book as a whole. Like, which character is basically like more known? Like, Iron Man has been out there forever, in a word of a sense. But Brainiac is great because unless you're, like I said, unless you're a DC fan, Superman fan, or the whole thing roll up in one, you'll know that Brainiac is one of those characters where it's a good villain wise, but is he bigger than, say, Iron Man? No, he's not.
No.
Even though Iron Man's got so much more going for it, do I buy the Brainiac book because it's more rare? Well, I could, but then again, it's like, how long am I going to sit on it if I want to use it investment term purposes wise? Or if I just want to have it, then I'll get it for myself and just keep it in my collection. But if it's more for investment wise, the Iron Man, Tales of Suspense 39 is always going to win, hands down.
All right, so let me get into the census numbers for the Tech 140, okay? Anyone want to gander how many you think are on the census?
Oh, I think probably less than 400.
I'd say probably 700.
There are a total of 208 copies on the census.
See? Yeah.
So
Low.
179 blue universal grade, 7 qualified, 22 restored, and at a 4.0 conserved, because that is basically what the restored is. There are only 2 copies out there of a conserved or restored 4.0. That is crazy.
Yes. See, it's rare. It's a rare beast. That book is. It's a beast.
It is.
I don't care if it's conserved or not. It's a beast.
Let me ask you this. Now that you have all the data, you have the census count, you have the sales data for the past 3 years. I'm going to start with you, Errol. Did I change your mind at all hearing all this shit? Are you still at this book? This is yours, the Tech 140.
I'm still at 140 no matter how you look at it. As I say, it's the Riddler. It's a rare book. It's a golden age gem. How you're looking at it is like one of the most best villains out there next to the Joker or even Mr. Freeze.
Batman's Rogues Gallery only rivals Spider-Man's, right? They're him and Spider-Man are to have the best.
Absolutely.
So Jason, after hearing all this, any of it change your mind or no?
I'm gonna stick with Brainiac, man, because it's stable. It's been stable. It's been stable, and from an investment purpose, it could break out, but that's a pivotal character, man. No, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take that Riddler any day. But I'm going to stick with Brainiac. It's a stable character. He's got opportunity, and I'm going to stick there.
All right, so this is like, it was really hard for me. I'm not going to lie, because I love Tales of Suspense 39. It's a Silver Age book. I think that book will always sell no matter what. The first appearance of Brainiac, I think it's a lesser known book because, as great as Superman is, I think in our age and maybe our previous age, there's not a lot of people out there reading Superman, in my opinion, even though it is super scarce with just over 500 and change copies. And then, of course, we have the super rare first appearance of the Riddler. I know it's a conserved copy, but after hearing those numbers of 208 copies out there of a major villain, of a top 3 character, I had to do it. I had to go with the Tech 140 as well. I got to be honest. If it was me, it would have went Tech 140, Tales of Suspense 39, and then the Brainiac. I get where Jason's coming from because Brainiac could be on the horizon where Iron Man is now done. And then the Riddler, we just had a movie with him. But again, 200 copies. I don't care if it's conserved. Better than the Purple Label, in my opinion, so I had to go there. Again, I don't think you can go wrong in buying any of these books.
No, you can't.
3 major books.
Preference.
No, you can't.
If it's for me wise, sure, I'll take the Brainiac all day long. But for say longevity wise and if I'm a huge Batman core fan, Riddler all day long. But still, for me wise, it's just a preference of what you prefer. Like for me, I'll take the Brainiac, no problem. But when it comes time to, like I said, if I'm a Batman fan, that Riddler is going to my collection all day long.
He was already used in the Batman with the Matt Reeves movies. They used that character already. They changed him up a little bit, but I love the fact that the Riddler can rival Batman with his mind. That's always been the key to the Riddler. He wasn't like a big brute force character. The Joker's nuts, so like that, it's a totally different character. The Riddler will try to beat Batman with his mind. That's
have you guys ever watched Gotham, the series?
I haven't.
I watched the first 2 episodes. I have the book here.
You have to see the Gotham, the series. You have to. I watched the whole series. It's absolutely such an entertaining series on Bruce Wayne. It has the Riddler inside it. It has Solomon Grundy. I mean, it was really entertaining. Even the Penguin. I absolutely loved it every single time it was on the CW.
Now that we've made our choices, I'm going to give you guys the final word before we end this thing. So let's start with you, Errol, first.
First off, you know what? If you want to collect a book, just collect the book because you want it and you love it. That's the way I look at it as a collection-wise. I know the hobby's going crazy up and down after what's happened 2 years ago, and now everything's trying to level off on people being scared of what to buy, what not to buy, and don't let that deter you on what you want. If you want to buy a book, just buy it because you see the great history to it. That's the way I see a book. You just buy it because you like the book. Well, I know value wise and everything. You want to see value and everything go up, and I'm guilty too at times. But in the most end of it, if I love a book more because of what it is, even these books that you have presented tonight, I've had Tales of Suspense 39. I've had it. I've used it to get better books. But the Riddler book, if it was for me to get that book now, sure I would. But the prices are just coming up so high now. Where what do I want more? Do I want something else, or do I want that one?
Jason, you?
All right, I'm just going to say real quick, buy what you love, because in the end, the book will love you back.
Yep.
You know, you buy with the intent. I don't care who you are. You buy with the intent that when it's time to sell or unload, whatever you want to call it, you want to see a profit. But just buy what you love; it'll love you back. That's pretty much
Jason,
it.
that book is doing filthy things to Jason while we're sleeping. All right, I want to thank both of you guys for coming on the channel and playing this or that with me. I hope you guys had a good time.
It was a great time. Thank you for having me.
That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, but don't forget, go over to my community tab on the YouTube channel and vote for which book you'd buy for around $3,000 to $3,500. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.